the Army, Wright State, Florida Gulf Coast game. Yeah, they won all three, but they certainly were not sharp.
Cold start both ways offensively. SIU trying to score for the first time, 2 minutes in.
You're going to see a lot of this split action where SIU is going to hit that pinch post. You've got screening action. Indiana, because they switch four ways, going to have to be careful from slips.
Good defense from Carlisle, one of their new guys, leading the pass
up the floor.
Took it away, led the break, followed the offensive rebound and score.
I thought it should have been a goaltend. It looked like Sakanis knocked that on the way down, but the offensive glass has been there early for the Hoosiers.
Both baskets off of second chances, 3-zip and offensive rebounds. SIU coming off a Division III win, their first big test of the year. And that's heavy. Rebound for Renew, one and done.
You talk about wanting to play fast. It is an asset if your foreman can take that thing off the defensive glass and start the break.
Follow with the turnaround. No. Offensive rebound, and Mbako puts it away.
And he is so capable with his size. Mackenzie Mbako, 6'8", 220, flying in there, using that physicality. And Indiana is feasting on the offensive glass early.
4-zip on the offensive glass. 6-0 on the scoreboard. And another trip with a stop and no second chance. Ooh, Rice loses it.
Hey, Rice, only 2 turnovers in the 2 exhibition games. He's got 2 early here.
Malith gets SIU on the board with a 3.
That's what Ray Malith wants to do. 38% from 3 last year for National Junior College champion Barton Community College. And off the turnover, the opportunity is there for him to rise up.
Something that Indiana wants to be better at down on the other end. Their perimeter defense gave up a lot of 3s last year.
But some of that, Connor, is because of their principles. You know, that they are so to the ball at times that on driving kicks, their defense is vulnerable to catch and shoot 3s.
This is a guy that can get one up. He's run off the line, and Taylor misses. And Indiana gave up 8.5 3s per game last year. It was the most in the Big Ten. Out of the first media timeout, Renew gets checked by Malith. The Hoosiers ball on the baseline when we come back. On the first foul either way. Led to all 6 of their points, leading 6-3 with the first media. Sunday stream men's hoops on Big Ten Plus. It's the Hoosiers against Eastern Illinois, one of the thousands of non-televised live events on Big Ten Plus. BigTenPlus.com to subscribe right now. Connor Onion, Robbie Hummel with you in Bloomington. We saw what you said was necessary in that first segment. Indiana's got to dominate the glass, and they did.
Well, and I just think they have to be a better rebounding team in general. You know, last year with Renew and Khalil Ware, they just were not very good at shutting down possessions. They have to do a better job of this as well, taking care of the basketball.
Mbako with the baseline J that goes down.
A broken play there, but Carlisle doing a nice job. He left his feet to pass, but he found a wide open Mackenzie Mbako on the wing.
SIU nearly went the other way with it. Cold start for the Cougars down on this end. 1 of 7. And they won't get a shot up on this trip. Renew running the break with Rice right back to Renew. The 2 new teammates hooking up.
And Miles Rice didn't even have to put that on the floor once. Just a beautiful give and go. Didn't even have to put that on the floor once. Just a beautiful give and go. Off the turnover, Indiana off to the races.
First basket of the night in transition for Indiana. Points a game last year. A lot of offense going through it. Points a game last year. A lot of offense going through him. Won't get a look this trip down. And a foul. Sends Baker to the free throw line.
I think Renew doing a nice job of starting this break, and he runs the floor. Miles Rice rewards him for it. Back here on this end, he bails him out. I think that Mbako could be one of the better sophomores and even one of the better players in this league this year. He's got that type of ability, but he's going to have to make some strides on this end here. You know, defensively, defending without fouling, not getting lost off the basketball. He got better in a big way last year, but he still has a long way he can go on this end.
2 preseason games before he did it for real, so we've seen Indiana a little bit. Their best player right now is who?
That's a good question. Balo's the highest ranked transfer, I think you could say. I think Mbaka would have a case. I think Renew would have a case. But that's the beauty of this team, I think. You know, the depth of scoring options that are legitimate to go off on any given night. You know, the shooting from the perimeter is the big question, but I really like Indiana's talent.
In the second half of last year, Mbaka did a lot of what we just saw. Finding his outside shot. Now he's in transition and hanging on a rim.
I love the fact that Indiana is not necessarily dribbling this thing up the floor. That they are advancing the basketball and letting everybody else do the work.
Timeout SIU, and Mbaka is determined to answer that question that we just posed with 9 points already for Indiana.
The turnover is certainly starting to rack up here for SIU. That's a big-time pass. Trey Galloway, about a 40-foot bounce pass. And Mackenzie Mbaka knows exactly what to do with that.
That was the second half of the season, the play that Mbaka put out there in the Big Ten that earned him Co-Big Ten Freshman of the Year with Owen Freeman at Iowa. And then they had another Freshman of the Year, Miles Rice.
Well, how about the fact that Miles Rice does that coming off a year where he sits with leukemia, and Mackenzie Mbaka ends up being Co-Big Ten Player of the Year after starting shooting the basketball 23% from three in the non-conference. We talked about his defensive struggles early, and then Big Ten play, just a different player. He really settled in. Both those guys going to help this team win a lot of games this year.
That's why that question of who's their best player right now is hard, right?
It's really hard. Yeah, they stacked good players, and the depth on this team much better than last year.
It's Rice that has the on-ball defense on Taylor, and he's swatted. Help from Mbaka, but he keeps it in bounds. Down inside 10 to shoot. Taylor run off by Mbaka, recovered and rattles it home.
That's what Rayshon Taylor does. He is a bucket getter. He can score at all three levels there, and off the closeout wisely, not settling for the contested three, but driving Mackenzie Mbaka for the puller.
A rare guy right there, and how he's come back.
He stayed. Yeah, you know, and yes, he's had his injury issues, and that's probably maybe hurt some of his suitors. But he's a guy that a lot of mid-major players are out of there after they play well.
Miles Thompson rolls that down.
We talked about Indiana throwing up the floor. That's exactly what Taylor did right there. Reward the big fella for running.
Mbaka wanted another one. Feeling it early. Rice long, and Mbaka tracks down another rebound.
How active is Mackenzie Mbaka to start this game? He's been everywhere.
Mbaka has the Hoosiers up by 19. He has 13 points. Good, he hits the floor, and Thompson is in on the foul. Well, it's Saturday. Heisman contender at quarterback for Oregon. Dylan Gabriel, he has the Oregon at number 1. They're against the Terps, 7 Eastern time, 4 Pacific time on Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Yeah. A big day here in Bloomington, too. Michigan comes to town before the bye week. And a huge game with Ohio State after that for Indiana football.
I will say about Coach Cignetti, he talks big game, but he has done every part of backing that up. And the turnaround that he has had with this football program is honestly incredible.
Now it's the 3 bulletin board games coming up, because on this floor is where he said.
Yeah,
Michigan,
that's true.
Ohio State, Purdue.
Most coaches are like, we got to tone down the bulletin board material. He put it out there.
Well, this came out last night, the first college football playoff projected bracket, and it has Indiana as the 9 seed, which
you have to
got
think,
some people fired up.
You have to think that strength of schedule is what factored into that, but I think you could also argue the way that they beat people, their efficiency on offense, their defense has been great. I mean, they've just been really fun to watch.
Robbie Hummel with his best Jerry DiNardo.
Yeah, I played 8th grade football, so split end. That position doesn't even exist anymore. I don't think.
Is that like a super back?
It was like basically a blocking receiver for your slow, skinny kid that can't do anything else.
An 11-point jump for Indiana behind Mbaka's 13 early points. Ahead of the second media timeout. Rice has been able to contain Taylor so far. And can't add to his 2 points, but Sikanis can.
You're just watching there on the blockout. Sakanis able to take total advantage.
Starting because of his size after being the 6th man in the first game for SIUE. Goody for 3. A little long on it. Rebound Sakanis again. That's why Indiana went out, got Goody in the transfer portal from Illinois.
Needs to see one go down. Look, Goody, 2 of 14 from 3 in the 2 exhibition games, and now 0 for 1 to start this season.
Second chance for SIUE. Can't connect.
Indiana, this looks a lot like last year. They're just not closing down possessions. And you give a team so many extra opportunities, eventually they're going to cash in. SIUE has weathered this early storm. Indiana certainly started this one in a big way, but SIU settling in.
And a clean start on the glass, and Sakanis, ooh, that'll count. That'll be a goaltend. Almost had that clean.
Well, Mackenzie Mbako, he is not wasting any time, and it's a tie game between him and SIU Edwardsville. But his activity on both sides of the floor really standing out. Great pass from Galloway. Mbako with the finish, and then defense.
Shared a moment to reflect on Dad's legacy here, and Brian Baroni even said he's kind of feeling the weight.
Yeah.
Losing 2 parents himself from what Kyle's shared with him the last couple of days.
Well, and unfortunate that Kyle Thomas right now is out with a stress fracture in his foot, so probably won't see him tonight, barring something maybe at the end of the game. But Carroll Thomas was such a big part of this program. 1,000-point scorer. You mentioned the pass in the national championship game. Really cool to have him back and have the family back in Assembly Hall tonight.
By the way, that play before we went to timeout that Sakanis was ruled a goaltend on, that was wiped off. That was a clean block. The 3 is off, and Valerie got hands on it. So did Malief, and it's a travel.
When because it was ruled a clean block and no one secured the basketball, they go to the arrow here. This took us to break, and this ball never gets to the board. It's a good block by Sakanis. And you'll see if the play keeps going. The ball just kind of goes to no man's land because the whistle blows. So they went to the arrow, and that was SIU ball.
Tucker knocks in an outside jump shot.
And that's where he is comfortable. That mid-range, whether it's coming off screens, getting to his pull-up, playing in the mid-post. I really like the way that Bryson Tucker played in the exhibition game against Marion.
His first official basket as a Hoosier. That long, too, and the hook shot for Miles Thompson.
Miles Thompson, 6'7", going right at Umar Balo at 7 foot, getting to his left jump hook. SIUE has shown some real toughness here.
Went down 19-9 and had to take the timeout. Since then, this game has changed in the paint. And a whistle underneath on the miss for Tucker.
They're going to get Balo for steamrolling somebody blocking out. Here's Miles Thompson, a teammate at Barton Community College of Ring Malief. Mentioned they won the JUCO National Championship, so these 2 guys have played in some big games at JUCO, and right now not shying away from the bright lights of Assembly Hall.
With that combination, Malief and Thompson, they've won a combined 28 games in a row. Finished that JUCO National Championship with 27 in a row. Here is that combo. Malief too strong on it, but Thompson keeps it alive and puts it back up to the rim.
Indiana has just shut the switch off on their defensive rebounding.
Travel though. That shot will not count. Thompson walked with it. Yeah, the first 4 minutes, Rob, it was
one and done.
Yeah.
Now SIUE has been able to get second chance opportunities, and that's now 7 offensive rebounds that have gotten them back in the game with those second chance points.
Yeah, it looked like he was headed for a real big second chance point type of night for Indiana, but SIU has it even at 8. After the big start for the Hoosiers. Rice probing, little runner off the window and down. SIUE staying connected even without Taylor showing big scoring yet. 3 goes down.
That doesn't happen without the dribble drive there by Rayshon Taylor. He beats his man on that baseline, extra pass, and Brian Taylor, his cousin, finishes the job. Maintaining the bounce, so important against a team like SIU. You have guards that want to get to that painted area. There's the extra pass, and there's the open three for Brian Taylor. Indiana in rotation that entire possession.
So Indiana with the 5 new guys we talked about, they're trying to figure out where they all fit. You've got Cousins that just teamed up. Then you got former JUCO teammates for SIU on the other side.
Real continuity. And I said this earlier, but Brian Baroni has kept guys at SIU. He's done a good job, especially for a mid-major school, of keeping the same personnel.
And a clear travel on Renaud.
He's pulling the chair out.
Well, hey, tomorrow, more basketball coming up. It's Michigan State against Niagara. Starts at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app.
That was a veteran play from Ring Malik because he is not in the same weight class as Malik Reneau. Not even close.
Height of a power forward in the Big Ten, but
yeah, not the weight at 180.
No.
That might be generous there. Good cut.
He can do this, though. Heavy on it. Reneau with the rebound.
Rashawn Taylor got him that shot because he cut hard to the rim.
Taylor has been held to just the 2 points, and turnover Indiana. It's the 4th on the Hoosiers in this first half. SIU saw the Indiana lead go to double digits in the opening couple of minutes. Cut it back to 4, more than midway through this first half. Rice shut off Taylor. Here's Malik from out deep on the bounce. Too strong, but a second chance. It's Malik again.
He is not bashful.
And Indiana turns it over one more time. That's their 5th back-to-back trips. They've sent it back to the Cougars as we hit the under 8 of the first.
I have not. No, I've been to Knicks. I've been to Knicks once.
Too busy eating quinoa bowls before doing games.
Listen,
here.
it's a long year, man. The travel catches up to you. You gotta start well and see where it takes you.
Well, SIU has this game down to 4, and Mbako, who had the quick strike early with 13 points, has the rebound.
Yeah, defensive rebound there for Indiana. They started the game so solid on the glass on that end of the floor, and it's just kind of melted away. 8 offensive rebounds for SIU. Look at this seal. You miss Ballo.
Ballo was right underneath the rim. Posting again, Mbako is long in the 3.
Good block out.
Block out by Taylor. Yeah.
Rashawn Taylor going up against a much bigger player in Bryson Tucker. Bryson Tucker.
A little stutter to the rim. Ballo influenced it. Some easy work down there.
On that play, you've got Tucker and Ballo. Rashawn Taylor.
Easy work down there.
On that play, you've got Tucker and Ballo. Rashawn Taylor is way shorter than both those guys, and he comes up with that offensive rebound.
Indiana with size advantage, as you'd expect at every single spot tonight. Started well on the glass, even since. And Reneau rolls it down.
Pretty there by Malik Reneau. He had the matchup he wanted. He was patient. He changed directions. He used his footwork. And that was well done.
I know Indiana and Indiana fans want to see him score more away from the basket this year, but go with what works, right? He is.
Especially in a game like this, where they have the advantage in size at every spot.
Baker with the miss. Here come the Hoosiers again with Tucker.
We have seen Malik Reneau do this a time or two, where he's been able to just finagle his way in, and then here's the footwork, little up and under. Then that's like the Luis Scola reverse. Scola would do that to his right. There you see Reneau doing it to his left, getting back to that strong hand.
Were you personally victimized?
Yeah. Many a defender of Luis Scola was victimized by that spin back. He would pivot 8 times to get to his right hand. You could give up a left-hand layup. He wasn't taking it.
That sounded like the start of a therapy session. Here's Ballo in deep, doubled, and he's fouled.
Good pass there. Miles Rice recognizing SIU in that little hybrid 1-3-1, 2-3 zone. And instead of messing around, just throwing it right inside to Umar Ballo. There's that duck in, and just a simple little bounce pass. And now look at the defenders converge on Ballo. Trip to the foul line.
This is going to be a big story to follow with Indiana's season. As a team last year, they didn't shoot it well from the foul line. And he needs.
Yeah, I mean, 49% from the foul line. He's not going to help that percentage.
What's realistic, you think? Can he shoot 60%? Maybe better than last year?
I think
you're not asking too much.
They're probably hoping for 55, I would think. I mean, he has not been a good free throw shooter in his career.
1 and 2 there, and you know that Ballo is going to put other bigs in foul trouble. He's going to chew up fouls.
And he's great at getting high-level position to put bigs in binds.
Taylor draws the foul on Rice. Team foul on Indiana, first on Rice. Next SIU foul will send Indiana to 1-1. The biggest lead of this first half was 20-9. Indiana. SIU hanging in on the road in their second game of the year. Their Division III win to open up on Monday. Thompson late in the shot clock, blocked by Renew. Down to 3. Thompson on the attack, and it goes down.
But Miles Thompson was not messing around. He knew how much time he had on that shot clock and went to work.
And Taylor with the strip of Rice. One-on-one with Mbako. Use that forearm.
Maybe almost a little bit overkill on that. Could have been called for an offensive foul, but wise to get to the body and knock Mbako off his path.
So the Hoosiers have let the Cougars hang within 3, and another turnover.
Turnovers by Indiana. They are throwing it everywhere right now.
Taylor,
he wanted that thought. Boy, he did.
Now he does get it up. And he ties the game. Rayshawn Taylor for SIU.
That's just a ball screen. Ballo is back, and you've got to understand who you've got coming off. Rayshawn Taylor, the #2 all-time in three-point field goals made in SIU history. He's only 15 away coming into this game from breaking the record. So when he comes off that screen, well, you have got to have a sense of urgency. There's that Miles Thompson drive. Another second chance. Thompson making something happen out of nothing. And here's that push off. That could have been an offensive foul. It was a little bit blatant there, but certainly wise to get to that body and then finish the job. And then this is big to big. So that's a switch. And if you're Umar Ballo, you've got to know the scouting report and know that this guy is coming off the pull. So you've got to be a little bit up.
Perimeter defense, right?
But it's also just that's knowing personnel. You know, depending on who you got coming off there, if you're switching, man, you can't switch back. Rayshawn Taylor is saying, please, let me step into this like that.
And this is not an SIU team that has a lot of outside shooting, but if there's one guy you got to get out on,
he's the one.
It's Taylor.
You could make the argument for Desmond Polk as well. 36% from 3 last year, but Taylor for sure. There's another Indiana turnover.
Ballo stripped. 3-on-3 on the Euro. Renew influences that. It is off SIU. Thompson got a piece of that.
Good job by Indiana of getting back and at least contesting that shot at the rim. You're putting a ton of stress on your defense with all these turnovers adding up. That's 8 here in the first half.
Clean first 4 minutes for Indiana. Nervy since then. For the last 12 or so. Mbako finds another bucket. 16 in the first half.
He does not need much time with his size, and he can shoot over the top of smaller defenders.
Looking like January and February in Mbako.
Yes.
Here he is again on the break and one.
Well, Connor, you asked me who's Indiana's best player, and at least on this night, in the first half, it has totally been Mackenzie Mbako. You bring him off a pin down, he's shooting over the top, and this is music to Indiana fans' ears. Seeing him defend like this, getting some contact and put early on in the season. He had his issues there, but tonight he's been all over the place, so active. He said he wanted to be a better rebounder. He's shown us that. He's shown the shooting. He's shown it at the rim. I really like the way Mbako has come out and set the tone here for his season in this first half.
And with that free throw, he's 5 points away from his career high that he got at Maryland last year in the first half. Does he get there, Rob?
I mean, he's been by far their best player. 4 to play. He's going to have opportunities.
And Mbako called for that foul. I'm marking you down for yes. Coming up, stick around.
Non-committal answer.
I got a promo to read. Do you mind? State Farm halftime report is coming up. Mike Hall, Stephen Bardo back in the studio.
Boy, Steven's suit looked good. I wish I could say the same for Mike's, but Steven was styling there.
I stood up for Mike a little bit. He said I was going to struggle tonight because I had to work with you.
I'm shocked he would say that.
Desmond Polk at the line for the second. Missed them both.
I think there was some French fries or something on the line for that. That's been the norm here in this league, where missed 2 at the line and the giveaways are on.
A little extra juice from the crowd.
Yeah.
Mbako has been the man for Indiana down on this end in this first half. Not out there here. And an air ball from Carlisle.
What a great shot there. It was a contested one, and it felt like one of those where Tatum Carlisle felt like he hadn't gotten an opportunity in a while and was going to get that thing up.
He is a guy that Indiana expects to be a volume scoring off-ball guard for him.
A lot of ability. 31 against Washington State last year, 28 against Arizona. Tough last 12 games, got really worn down. His usage in Pac-12 play was ridiculous for a freshman.
Miss from Malik. Here come the Hoosiers with Rice. And Taylor slows him down. Ballo inside position. Help was late getting over, and a foul comes.
That's the Ballo special. We are going to see him do that plenty this year. Runs the floor, gets position early, and then just starts carving his man up the lane. Indiana's guards doing a good job of recognizing that he had that pass over the top.
Defenses would rather have him here than down low because of that.
There's no doubt. If he's at the rim, you have got to hammer him hard so he can't get that thing up to the basket. Make him earn it from the strike.
65% when he's allowed to shoot. Free throw line, I mentioned it before, 49%. A 2 of 3 start for Ballo at the line. Nasty of 60% is realistic.
It's a small sample size, I think you could say.
That's 75, Rob.
Heating up.
Ballo will get a rest. In his first game as a Hoosier. 5 points, 3 of them have come at the foul line. Taylor hits some outside shots in this first half. Gives this one up into a crowd, and Renew fighting for it. And he came together with Sakanis, and it'll be Hoosier ball in the alternating possession. Taylor asking for a foul. Taylor was off the ball.
Animated conversation there with Earl Walton.
He was off the ball. It was Brian Taylor that was on ball at the start of that drive. He's back in there, ready to defend. Switched off of Galloway and gives it up. Into the post for Renew with Ballo off the floor. He is fouled on the baseline. That'll be on the ground, and a 1-and-1 coming for Renew in the 9th team foul.
Wise play by Renew there, because Sakanis is going to have a heck of a time if Renew faces up and drives him. And that's exactly what he did there on that rip and go.
And another interesting thing for Indiana, right, is when Ballo is out, how they shuffle the lineup. Can go a little bit smaller.
Well, you'll go Renew at the 5 and a mixture of Mbako or Isaac Tucker at the 4. even throw Luke Goody in there. But they're going to have to rebound. And we've seen that creep up here tonight. When Ballo's not on the floor, it's going to have to be a collective effort of all five.
Indiana leading even in rebounding. 18 aside against a much smaller SIU team. The 10-point lead for the Hoosiers just ahead of the 2-minute mark.
Stretch here. Opportunity for Indiana to kind of build this cushion going into the half. They're on a 10-0 run right now.
Taylor off the spin and can't end the drought. Hoosiers running with a 10-0 run and a lob. Got fumbled at the rim. And Tucker couldn't quite grab it. Here's Pickett, and that's a block.
I honestly like the play by Indiana. That's a play that needs to be executed better. Here you got Carlisle. He's clearly moving there to his right. It's a block. But for the Hoosiers, they want to push it. That pass was not bad. It just needs to be caught. It needs to be flushed by Bryson Tucker.
That foul was on the ground, by the way, and that was just the 5th team foul for the Hoosiers. There's still one more to give before SIU is shooting the bonus before halftime. Gotta check the shot clock here. Yeah, it was at 2 seconds on the shot clock. That was too quick a possession for 28 seconds to go. SIU hasn't scored the last 2 minutes, and Renew gets it on the way up.
He just hung in on that play. He was beat on that fake handoff, but he never gave up on it and gave great effort.
Now he wants to attack, and that's on the ground as well. That basket won't count. Double bonus time, so he gets 2 foul shots.
The fake dribble handoff, and then Sakanis is just to the rim. You never quit on that play. Goes upstairs and blocks it. And on the other end, that's going to be a tough guard for a guy like Arnis Sakanis on the perimeter. We're going to see more of this from Malik Renew. And you think about him as a small ball 5, being able to drive some of the bigger guys in this league. Yeah, you got to rebound, but they got to guard him on the perimeter too.
He went from freshman year non-factor on the perimeter to a little better last year. 15 of 45 from 3.
33% from the line. He's still got to cut down his turnovers. 10 games with 4 or more turnovers last season. Also still cut some of those silly fouls out. He's too valuable to this team. His freshman year, it was foul trouble every game. Last year it was better, but still a ways to go for him. Need him on the floor.
Let's watch him right here. He's in ball screen defense right now. Renew is. Getting late. Clock ticking down inside 10 seconds. Carlisle with the on-ball defense. Down to 6. Give up with 4. Taylor nothing there. Goody with the closeout. The hoist and the hits.
Oh, man.
Nothing going until Taylor with a fall-away 3. That ended the 3-minute drought for SIU on the prayer at the end of the shot clock. Moves on a bunch of contact, but we got to see that again.
You described it perfectly. I mean, there is nothing going here for SIU. Really good defense by Indiana. Luke Goody is right there, and it's so frustrating for a defense. But at the same time, you've got to tip your cap and say, man, if we defend like that on every possession, we're going to be in business. You can see for SIU on this end, they're trying to find anybody that can guard Malik Renew. And they went big. He couldn't. Sakanis couldn't guard him on the perimeter. Now you go smaller with Darion Baker, and the physicality was getting to him. They were a real mismatch here.
That possession for Indiana on defense is why coaches use the cliche of process over results,
yeah,
right?
No doubt. I mean, you can have a bad possession offensively, and a player bails you out with a great shot. Same goes for your defense. You can guard really well. It doesn't mean you're getting stops. But over time, you do it enough, and those percentages are going to even themselves out on both ends.
Renew and Mbako had a combined 30 points in this first half for Indiana. Renew up to 11. Mbako at 19.
Look at Kaden Carlisle guarding the ball.
And a stance. Some Hoosier fans up on their feet. He gets screened, so it's Renew switching off onto Taylor. 6 to shoot again. Just hit him with a dagger late in the clock. Handoff. 3. And a miss. And a one and done. Goody with the board.
That's the percentages right there. Really good defensive possession again.
And Rice using that speed to get to the rim. He'll go to the free throw line.
Miles Rice is going to be able to put some real pressure on defenses in that little secondary break. Indiana switching 4 ways. Renew moving his feet. It's just a good defensive possession, and Indiana closing this one out with a defensive rebound and getting out and running. You think about Indiana talking about wanting to play faster. Well, you can't play fast if you don't get the defensive rebound. We saw them good early on that aspect of the game, and then kind of fall apart for 5 or 6 minutes, and it's gotten better here to end the first half.
How much can they run when Ballo is in?
I still think they can. I think that he can certainly be a guy where he's getting rebounds, outletting it. You've got a point guard like Miles Rice, or even if it's secondary ball handlers like Kaden Carlisle or even Mackenzie Ibaka. Those guys can bring it. They just got to find it.
A couple good trips on defense for Indiana, but they have one more before the half, riding a 15-3 run. Shot clock dark in the hands of Taylor. Foul given with 7 on the clock. One more to give going into that. Now that'll be the final one. So 16 fouls on Indiana. Reset it on the sideline with 7.8. In the hands of Taylor. Checked by Goody. 5 on the clock. Taylor gives it up. 3 at the end of the half. Almost banked in. And Oki almost sent SIU into the locker room with some good feelings, but Mbako and Renew combined 30 points for Indiana in the first half.
Yeah, both those guys phenomenal. Mbako making his presence felt all over the floor, and Renew really closing that first half out.
Mbako didn't quite get to that career high in one half alone. Settles for 19. Indiana with a surge in the final 4 minutes, leading by 12.
Be better taking care of the basketball and certainly be better on the defensive glass for these last 20 minutes. But the end of the half had to please Mike Woodson with the way his team responded.
And there were 3 trips on defense that you'll put on film and go back and say that was
got in the stance, contained the dribble, and then did a good job of communicating some things out.
So the first half score was Renew and Mbako 30, SIU 30. And the Hoosiers up by 12 as we start the second half. The season opener for Indiana. SIU touching it first. And they're looking for their first ever top 25 win as a D1 program. 0-7 all time. They turned D1 in 2007. Working the clock to start the second half. Down to 8 to shoot for Polk. Top scorer Taylor with a 3. And it ends up in the hands of Carlisle. Indiana gets a stop to start the second half.
I'd like to see where Kaden Carlisle can maybe find some of his spots. He took a bad shot in the first half and doesn't necessarily look comfortable with where his shots are going to come from.
He gets one up right away. That's a good look, right?
I think that's Mike Woodson going right to him. And pull-up jumper was open.
Pull-up pop for Polk, and that goes down.
Well, Mackenzie Mbako just died on that screen. Well said, but you got to fight over. Ball's in that drop, and that's as easy as a jumper as you're going to get.
A couple things in that first half. You pointed out wing ball screen that could have been better from that combo.
Well, that was more communication. That was a lot of Renew and Ballo, but this time Mbako just not getting over.
Renew had the 11 first half points. He's doubled. Gets a hook shot up. Leaf down with the rebound. Couple of empty trips for Indiana to start the second half, and Mbako knocks it out of bounds. It looked like Indiana was ready to steamroll SIU those first 4 minutes. It was 20-9. SIU got it back to 27-27. And a big run to close the half.
It looked like that surprised Brian Taylor that he was open. It's only one of those where if you're surprised, you can just move the ball.
Looking for the first basket since the half. On Carlisle all the way to the rim, left it for Ballo.
It's just that simple two-man action. Pin down for Carlisle, let him make a play.
SIU avoids the turnover, and Renew was just caught up on Malief. Called for the block.
They've gone to Carlisle now. First with a handoff, this time with a pin down. I guess you could debate, is that a shot or is that a pass? But because of the help there, you know you got Ballo on the other side. So you just got to get it to the rim and let the big fella do the rest.
It was pro Carlisle scorekeeping. Pass.
Hey, that's unknown, right? So I think that's how the home scorekeeper should score.
Marks it down as an assist for Carlisle.
Defense right there.
He has gotten in a stance. That's been his biggest impact tonight, Carlisle.
Into the first half, he was really getting into the ball, and there, Rayshon Taylor, a little Dirk Nowitzki-like fadeaway off one leg, and still a good contest from Kanan Carlisle.
You were not victimized by Nowitzki, right? Like Luis Scola?
Anybody that played was victimized by Dirk in that time period. Boy, they had Polk wide open there.
There's Malief on the take. Off the window, no. And Baco skies in. Malief showed he's getting his shots up in this game. 1 of 9 start. Now dealing with Ballo. And they do get a stop with Sakanis. SIU looking to run. Carlisle back. And Indiana gets their defense set.
Good flare screen right there. Sakanis set a great screen and gave Taylor all day long.
Second look at it, though, after the miss for Taylor. Taylor hit that late shot clock 3 in the first half. Missed a wide open one here. Malief, and an out rebound for Ballo. One field goal each way in the first 3 minutes of the second half. It's Rice with a step, and it got blocked again. Sakanis influences another one. Cougars out running with Taylor.
Quite the play to put that to the glass, and then Rayshon Taylor, second time we've seen him get to the body of Mbako and take away his length and ability to block that shot.
Luke Goody getting ready to check in for Indiana at the next dead ball. Ballo powers in, and he walks before Malief could spike it.
Rayshon Taylor finding his opportunities in the open floor. We saw it in the first half, and look at that, just the little bump there. Gets Mbako off balance, so he can't go up there and pin that to the board. Just a veteran play in the open floor.
And that's what this is tonight, right? For younger point guard, first game, Miles Rice at Indiana. Veteran point guard. It's been there 5 years. Think of, I don't know, maybe a guy like Ace Baldwin that you'll see, Penn State.
Yeah, but I just think the perseverance that Rayshon Taylor has shown to stick it out through 3 ACL tears and see him playing at the level he is. Pretty cool stuff.
He's fighting with Rice here. Gets this one up. And Rice wins that matchup. Looked like Carlisle earlier. Rice getting in a stance.
You want to impress your coach. Get in a stance and lock up. And that's exactly what Miles Rice is doing here. Force a contested one. That one's going the other way.
Lateral races. Brutal.
TJ.
It's time to play offense. Turn it out. Whoa, let's cool it, you two.
Mom.
State Farm State of Success brought to you by State Farm is the 9-0 start, first time ever for Indiana football as they head into their Saturday game against Michigan. You and Jerry DiNardo on me earlier. Go Howard Griffith on me now.
Well, I was just going to say, you know, I've watched a lot of the Chicago Bears this year, and they could be in, you know, the running for a new head coach. We'd take him in Chicago. That's probably unpopular in Bloomington.
It's the center, Mike Kadick.
Nice. He looks like he plays center.
Does. What was the giveaway?
I think the mustache.
Size in the mustache, yep. 3 games left. Michigan bye week. Ohio State, which could determine a trip to Indy for the championship game. And then Purdue. 10-point lead for the Hoosiers. Rice up with a three.
That's going
Down
to
it
be
goes.
there, yeah, for Miles Rice. They've been going under on all his top middle ball screens. So right there, he wisely just steps back and lets it fly.
It's been a question the last couple of years. Will Indiana have a reliable outside shooter? Rice was sub 30% last year, scoring 15 a game. And that's on the baseline to SIU. But you can see that there's a higher percentage there off the hand for Rice, right?
I think that, you know, as you play alongside better for his team in the shot clock, I think the same could be said for Kane and Carlisle. So the hope has to be that as you get alongside more talent, that those percentages rise. But Indiana, they've only shot, what, 8 threes in this game? They're 3 of 8 from the three-point line. So it's the volume has not been crazy, and that's been talked about plenty over the last couple years here. Been crazy, and that's been talked about plenty over the last couple years here.
Yeah, Mike Woodson's teams have been very good inside the arc. They're the Big Ten's best two-point shooting team last year.
And they only took 15 threes a game, which was good for 344th in college basketball.
There's Ballo in the stands here on Thompson, who sneaks by him.
I like Miles Thompson. I can see exactly why that dude had 27 points in the national championship game in JUCO. He's been going to work out here.
Now he's got to do it down on this end. Giving up a lot of weight in 5 inches of height. No touch for Ballo yet. Instead, it's Mbako through traffic. No.
I thought he got fouled, honestly, on the dribble drive.
Thompson was on the baseline. He stepped out. Ball back to the Hoosiers.
They were riding Mbako the whole way, and there was plenty of contact at the rim. We'll see if it goes vertical. I guess that probably is a pretty clean defensive play there.
Rescinding your call?
I am, yes.
20 up on the clock with Thompson stepping out.
Aggressive switching there, and they took everything away from Indiana.
SIU, who trailed by 11 in the first half. Down 11 again. They got it all the way back to even at 27 all.
Oh, good slip right there. Boy, you set that flare screen, and it's just right to the rim. Well done. That's Joe Valerie, NAIA transfer that averaged 20 and 10 at Point Park.
Small school ball in Pennsylvania to Assembly Hall for Valerie in his second game at SIU.
Great cut.
And 2 more for Mbako, up to 21 in the night.
Just a simple pin down there, but Mbako cutting with a purpose and cutting to score.
Taylor contested 3. Can't get the bounce, and Valerie snatches it away.
Indiana's going to have a talk, I'm sure, tomorrow about their defensive rebounding. Just not good enough blocking out.
Taylor slides off another tray.
They've been lucky. Rayshawn Taylor has had some good looks, and he hasn't cashed in.
Oh, Rice, that was sweet to get it up to the rim.
And he kind of bobbled that there. Rayshawn Taylor looks like he's talking about a double dribble, but like maybe some contact there in terms of knocking it away, and Miles Rice just stayed with it.
And also went to Paul Sells, and maybe was looking for an offensive foul, too. And Mbako couldn't squeeze it, neither could Valerie, and it's Indiana basketball.
SIUE is looking to set a ton of flare screens here. Take a look. Joe Valerie is going to set this and then just slip right out of it. That pass is perfect, leading him to the rim. That's a really good cut. And here's Mbako, a little split action. You got Renew handling, and look at the way he cuts with a purpose there. Right down Main Street for the layup.
Closing in on that career high of 24 points. Mbako up to 21. Rice looking for an opening. Got to the mid-range and got fouled. Well, one on Taylor, his first. So Rice with a chance to go into double digits. Got 5 quick points out of halftime. He's got his first double-digit scoring game as a Hoosier.
First of many.
He's got a really fun relationship with Mike Woodson. We were at the shoot-around today for Indiana. But we were talking with Coach Woodson, and he waited his turn to come over. And then those two just started talking trash to the rest of the shoot-around of each other.
I think it says a lot about anybody that can come into a new situation and take control of a locker room the way that it feels like that Miles Rice has. He's certainly one of the leaders on this team and is acclimated quickly to Bloomington.
Trying to shut down Taylor. Gets in on it.
Boy, those count right there. A little stop and go and just big-time offense from Rayshon Taylor.
Taylor with the answer. Renew from three. Outlet pass almost went awry. Taylor corrals it and scores through Renew's contest.
Boy, you've got a shot blocker right there. The best way to score over him is to go through him, and that's what Brian Taylor did. Got to the body, hung there, and finished right over the top of Renew.
To think it's flat. Yeah. Very flat. Galloway offensive rebound and flings it back in.
That's the Trey Galloway special. Hustle play and then right into that right floater.
And right back to the rim for Thompson.
Boy, but Indiana up a made bucket. You got to get back. SIUE looking to advance that ball, and Miles Thompson keeping his head to the rim.
It's twice in a row that's happened. Renew with the give up, and he got hit. Thompson was riding him. Well, the lead 11 for Indiana. 12 to go. And Mbako has been the top guy tonight for the Hoosiers. 21 big ones for Mbako.
You could certainly say that he's been the best player on the floor. His first half was loud in a number of ways, and Indiana's going to need him to close this one down. Boy, the under out of bounds here has been a problem for the Hoosiers. This is going to be a free bucket.
And the slam off of the good defense for Baker.
And you appreciate the hustle from Trey Galloway, but you'd be better served to just let that go out of bounds. He throws that to the other team. It's a breakaway jam.
The SIUE hanging around. Indiana led by 12 at halftime. It's at 9. Fall away, no. And Tucker can't connect.
Leith is like, this is my rebound right here. He's not giving that up.
And Leith has been quiet down on this end, and Galloway jumps the passing lane. Up ahead of the pack, lost
the
it.
ball. I have to think Trey Galloway kind of working his way back. Only played 10 minutes against Marion. Was on that minutes restriction, passed that test, and this is normally a breakaway jam for Trey Galloway. He just loses it going up and then lands out of bounds.
This is what you appreciate, but just let it go. Right?
Yeah, because you're just giving 2 points away. If you are going to save it to your end.
The rust you're talking about, left knee, was a surgery that Galloway got over the summer, had him limited preseason. But almost a full deck tonight as far as healthy bodies for Indiana.
Nice cut there. Brian Taylor saw his defender had lost him, turned his head. They're going to call that a shooting foul. It's Mackenzie Mbako gets caught ball watching. He's staring at the basketball. Taylor does what all good cutters do. Take that thing to the basket.
And didn't hit the first. Thinking about the role reversal for Taylor now. He's seeing a guy like Mbako that's 5 inches taller than him. The guy guarding him the other day was 5 inches shorter than him.
I will say that their win against Westminster, that was outsized would be an understatement what Westminster was to SIUE.
Goes from a 6-foot guy guarding him to a 6'9" guy guarding him in a matter of 2 days. Mbako stays hot.
You cannot go under on Mackenzie Mbako on that handoff. You get burned because you're trying to meet him on the other side, and Mbako wisely steps back and drills it.
He ties his career high in points, 24. Tying the career high he had at 24 last year at Maryland. This will be baseline out. 4th foul of his second half against the Hoosiers.
This is as simple as just knowing your personnel. We're going to get Joe Valerie here. He's on the handoff. Look at him trying to shoot that gap. That's way too much space. Mbako already with the size advantage over the top of Valerie. He rises up and nails that one.
He could not buy a 3 this time of the year last year.
No, he struggled so mightily to start the year. 23% from 3 in non-conference play last year. You compare that to 38% in Big Ten play. He caught fire and certainly found his confidence and got more comfortable.
It looks much more like second half in Baco tonight. 3 of 3 from out deep to go with 24 points. Malik for 3. Way long on it. Sakanis fighting, couldn't get there. Rice out of the pack, gives up Galloway. Goody.
Didn't look like he caught that right, but Baco clears the way and finishes the play. I thought Goody maybe bobbled that as he caught it. Just didn't look comfortable going into his shot.
And SIU takes a timeout. Hoosiers up double digits trying to close out their Mackenzie Baco. 26 points alone as a career high now. Over that 24 he had at Maryland last year, and hitting from out deep. He's been really the only guy feeling good from beyond the arc tonight.
And just his efficiency. I mean, 11 of 14 from the field. He has been terrific on that end of the floor. And certainly I felt like in the first half had some good moments defensively. And for him, it's still going to be a work in progress. Second half has had some slip-ups, I would say, but can't complain about the effort that he's given and the job he's done on the offensive end.
Is it more the off-ball stuff?
Yeah, on the ball, he gets lost sometimes, as a lot of players do.
And he's down in the corner here, and Baco is. Sakanis, not an outside shooter, gives it up.
Wise by Bala, just back off and play like free safety down there.
Bala camped out in the paint. Turnaround goes down. He's had a good second half. Darion Baker.
And he's got the mismatch there. And with Trey Galloway, Darion Baker at 6'8", 225. Redshirted last year at Akron, but they're really high on him at SIU. They think he could be a breakout guy. Just makes a play over the smaller defender.
He played for former Illinois head coach John Gross at Akron in his redshirt year last year. Through the back door, and Baco up to the rim again. Sitting at home wondering, is this going to be every night for Baco?
He's got the ability, man. He is a really talented player.
And 28 up on the board.
Good hustle from Balo there. Got out on that hedge and then got back to his man. This time a little taste of SIU's own medicine. We've seen them have Indiana defenders turn their head, get caught ball watching. Trey Galloway picks up his dribble, and Mackenzie Baco just slipping right in there to make himself available.
Galloway had the ball in his hands a lot last year. A ton. Terrific creator.
Well, but he had to be, you know, like with Xavier Johnson being out, and to see him go for a career year in terms of career highs in points per game, assists per game, minutes, steals, did a lot of positive things, but I think that his role on this team certainly takes him back 2 years ago, which suits him better.
He had the inside position with that ball getting volleyballed into his 7-footer's hands. Balo. Galloway does have the ball in his hands and turns it over.
The turnovers for Indiana, certainly a story. 14 of them.
Forced 11. SIU tries to crawl back once again. Had a couple of double-digit deficits tonight that they've cut into.
They've just not gone away. You're talking about a team that was picked third in the OVC. They've missed some open shots, that time a contested one, but Indiana certainly an opportunity to start salting this away.
Little Rock and Western Illinois will be the two biggest contenders you would think in the OVC this year. It's Galloway, and that goes down, the 3.
And that happens because a simple cut to the rim. You know, and Baco just takes 2 with him, and that leaves Trey Galloway wide open.
And Sakanis called for the offensive foul.
Mackenzie Baco has done a lot of scoring, but this time as a cutter, he gets the bucket here for somebody else. Split action in the corner, and Baco just taking 2 with.
Seen all the timeouts in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Robbie's Big Ten flag-waving power rankings coming soon as Ballo jams one.
SIU just gets caught hugging their man on the perimeter, and I get it with Mbako, but with some of these other guys, you got to be in, or else Umar Ballo's going to tear the rim off.
After his dunk, he's got Sakanis with his back to the basket. Thompson grinding with Renew. Ball fake through the back door. Sakanis off the pass from Thompson. Big to big.
Yeah, Ballo just gets caught watching Thompson operate. Sakanis just sneaks right behind. His pass though. Miles Thompson's had a nice game.
Outsized but unafraid going into the lane tonight, SIU. Inside the paint with Ballo.
That's that playmaking you talked about with Galloway from last year. And you can see if I'm Miles Thompson, you know, Renew can make a three, but his volume is so low. You got to at least chuck Ballo through the lane. And he lets him go unimpeded, and that's what happens. Taylor through the lane. And he lets him go unimpeded, and that's what happens.
Taylor got a piece of that. And Indiana reloads it. That's been a good option tonight, but not here.
Good contest, though. Brian Taylor with a sense of urgency to get to McKenzie and Mbako on that shot.
Taylor hiding out behind that screen, beats Galloway, but Ballo helps his guy out, gets the ball back for the Hoosiers.
Ballo is going to give this team a real rim protector with his size, and Rashawn Taylor trying to get to the other side of that rim, and Umar Ballo just waiting on it.
An entry pass goes out of bounds. Okay, coming up, big show, gives you highlights, post-game interviews, complete analysis, next, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Rutgers and Wagner played before us on the Big Ten Network. Rutgers with a win tonight. Indiana trying for 1-0. Up 17 with 6:07 to go. Thompson skips it. Polk sets the feet. Can't hit the three. Rice, the point guard, with the rebound. Looking for somebody to cut back door. Instead, Mbako with a three.
Mbako's like, man, why am I going to cut if I'm wide open on the three-point line? And eventually, Miles Rice just ended up giving it to him. And the way that Mbako has shot it, why not?
First 30-piece for a Hoosier in a season opener in a long time. And foul out wide on Renew. Eric Gordon was the last one to go season opener 30-piece back in 07.
I was at the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame this summer, and I ran into the gentleman that runs the Hoosier Basketball All-Star Game. And he sent me a copy of the game from 2007, and Eric Gordon was so much better than everybody else in the game. So to hear that, it's not a surprise. I mean, Eric's NBA career and time here speaks for itself, but that dude was an absolute problem, and still is. I mean, what a career he's had.
You look up every year, he's still playing,
Just cashing checks.
And into the paint, and Renew called for that foul. Of course, a famous flip, Eric Gordon, in his recruitment. Illinois to Indiana.
Well, Eric got the last laugh. I mean, he chest bumped him at half court, and he goes for the game winner of the Assembly Hall. Not this one, the other one.
Now you're getting people fired up. It's November.
That was wild to watch on TV, honestly. He went into a hornet's nest and made a big-time shot at the end.
Right?
Yeah, it was Chester. One to stir the pot, he was.
Sakanis rolls in a second.
That would be one where you let sleeping dogs lie. you don't do that to him.
Approaching the 5-minute mark. This game was once tied 27 apiece late first half. Indiana took a 12-point lead into the half. Lead it by 18.
Good pass.
Pass from Rice. Leaves it off for Renew.
Boy, SIU has just not been sharp in this last 4-minute segment with their pick-and-roll defense. They've not been to the ball, and Indiana doing a good job of recognizing that means the roller is wide open.
Baker going to work on Goody. Ooh, tough shot. Got it to the rim. But Indiana goes one and done on the defensive glass.
I like Mbako's activity of going to rebound. He's going to have to be better at that. He is certainly capable of being a good rebounder.
Ball kicked. Where would you like to... I'll ask you that in a second. Let's see the pass first. Rice setting this one up.
It's middle pick and roll again. And for Darion Baker, as that ball goes away from you to the right side, you've got to be on a string coming with him. Your job is to take away that roll man. He's just hugged up to his man. That means layups are coming.
Renew had size, didn't finish it though. Thompson back into the play. And Renew swarmed, but scored anyway. Mbako helping out in the defensive glass. Where would you like to see him as far as the rebounding number?
I think that he's capable of being a 6 or 7 rebound guy.
No chance at it there as Taylor swirls in a three.
I mean, it's going to be, Balo's going to get his. Renew's going to get some, although I think Malik Renew can certainly be a better defensive rebounder as well. But with the body that Mackenzie Mbako has, that there's no reason that he can't average 7 or 8 a game.
Carlisle three. Heavy. Rebound for Valerie. Mbako tonight with his 30-plus points, sitting on 8 rebounds as Valerie draws the contact and one. Final media timeout of the Season O production team. Made sure we could hear him.
But unfortunately, it was hard. The band was playing. It was hard to hear him. A good host would have made sure that we could hear him. But Mike is, we don't know if he's a good host.
Shame on you, Mike.
That's right. Joke's on you, Michael.
Indiana 3.5 minutes away from getting to 1-0. A game that was tied late in the first half. And they've stretched their 12-point halftime lead in the second. Goody will out. Rebound for Valerie.
Goody just needs to see one go down.
Kind of hesitated on that one.
On the transition one, yeah. It just, his struggles in the preseason games and the exhibitions, and that's kind of bled into this.
Nice catch, and foul shots coming for Baker. You got to think tonight means a lot for Goody, right? He's back at his home state, transferring from Illinois. Bunch of chances for friends and family to see him at home before they go to battle for Atlantis.
The battle for Atlantis is going to be an all-out war this year. Louisville certainly retooling. You end up knocking off the Cardinals, and you're probably going to see Gonzaga. You win a couple, Umar Balo could see his old team in the Arizona Wildcats. Big loaded field. That's an incredible event. If you ever get a chance to go to watch your team play down there, everything on site, you're playing a ballroom, you've got all the stuff in Atlanta. It's a really cool place to go.
A little beach time, intimate setting for
big golf course, a lot to do.
I'm talking like I've been there.
Well, you've seen the photos, you know.
Sure. Goody saves it.
Good hustle.
And Thompson went down to the deck. SIUE almost wrestled it away, but Rice scrapping in there. Now it's a 3-on-1. And Baker underneath. Oh, that was ridiculous.
Well done by Paul Sells to stop play there, because we got a massive wet spot here on the floor. After the scrum, SIUE finally gets it out. What a just finish by Darion Baker to hang in the air. And Mbako with the challenge. He goes straight up. That is incredible hang time from Baker, and it's one to remember right there for him. It's a 360. I mean, he takes that thing the whole way around.
Well, it's been worth the wait for Baker, who redshirted all of last year, transfers in, and Ryan Barone's going to use him a lot at SIUE this year. An 8-0 run for SIUE. Getting late, though. 2.5 minutes to go. Hoosiers looking to close it.
Galloway lob.
Follow. Hammer time.
That think it's fair to say that SIUE needs to work on some of their middle pick and roll defense because it's just been a dunk contest.
Some of that size, right?
Yeah, but a lot of it's just being in the right position.
Thompson falling away. Valerie up, yeah, up top, and he's fouled.
Here it is again, off the handoff, and boy, you've got to somehow impede Umar Ballo going to the rim. There's just nobody home. Again, as Galloway gets to the middle of the floor, that defender in the right corner has got to be there to take away the lob and then get out on the skip pass.
Coming for Valerie. And Leaf comes back into the game for Baker, who just had that great reverse. Valerie gets the second. It's been Mbako's 31 points, the highlight of opening night for Indiana as we reach the final 2 minutes. Ballo in his first Indiana game with 11, working out on the perimeter. Galloway leaves it for him again and reaches back to tip it in.
That two-man action here has been so effective. This time the corner is cleared out. There's just nobody home to stop Ballo.
Looks like he was headed third row of the seats.
Quite the corral and tip in there.
Valerie off on the three. And a foul on Malik. Mbako brought it in. The third on Malik, and Mbako now 1 rebound away from a double-double. She said, what, 6 or 7 a night?
He easily can.
He might be done.
He had a heck of a night.
I'm guessing Michael Whitson sneaking back in to get that one more rebound for the double-double. 31 and 9 ain't bad. Galloway with 8 to go. Shot clock at 5. Follow another tough catch. Another two-man game with Galloway.
This is like a record on repeat here for Indiana. It's Galloway to Ballo, just out of that middle pick and roll.
Galloway has 9 assists. Most of them coming in this second half. As that ripped away. Release for 3. Not here. Been a tough night for him, and now Indiana can dribble the clock out. So a little moment of doubt when it was 27-27, but Indiana on the gas to a comfortable win on opening night over SIUE. The 17th ranked Hoosiers are 1-0